What's going on, boys and girls? Welcome back to the channel. If you are new here, my name is Captain Will Mason, also known as the Captain's Coach. We're currently sitting 25 miles west of St. Pete on my 1969 20-foot Seacraft with my bros. We got Captain Drew Whaler up there on the bow. We got Mitch here. Y'all know Mitch. Well, no, y'all know Drew, Mitch, and Eric from working on the 45 Chris Craft, if you've seen a few of my videos. But we're out here doing a little hog fishing. We're having a pretty good day so far. I'll show you the box here in a few minutes, but let me take you back to the boat ramp. Putting the Seacraft in this morning before the sunrise. Come along for the ride. We're gonna catch some fish. We're rolling. Should be. Look at this electric crap.
Electric works good.
It moves.
It moves. There's the old Seacraft. It's still saying 1.5 out there right now, but I think we're gonna be just fine. I mean, it is dead still out here, and it's freaking cold as crap. Make a 20-mile run, go try to catch some hogfish.
Got Captain Will backing her down. Let's see. Not too bad, not too bad. Not too shabby. 1969 Seacraft. He also owns a Chris Craft. He's just a crafty individual. He loves arts and crafts. Started doing some crocheting.
Oh, just go off. It did, didn't it?
I don't know. It'll be fine. No, it's not off yet. I could see. All right, you're good. Hold on there, big guy. Hold on. Man, I don't know if this turbo diesel's gonna have enough power to get them all. Oh, let's see.
I think it definitely did go off.
It did not go off. All right, it's around 6:30 in the morning here in Florida. It is probably 45 degrees by now. Pretty cold. We got Mitch here, Captain Dean. It's a little chilly. We're gonna go out and do a little hog fishing on this 1969 Seacraft. It's all been redone. Got a couple minor cracks in the transom here, not a big deal. Engine's hanging on by a thread, not a big deal.
It'll come home.
It'll come home.
Don't say that.
After it's recovered, it will come home. Captain Will, great job.
Did I do okay? Was it straight enough?
It was straight as an arrow.
Let's go.
Let's go. Get on board.
Did it crank up on 2 or 1?
Had to go at all.
Yeah, I figured.
She didn't like it too.
Yeah, that's what I get for leaving it on all night. All right, you girls ready? Let's roll.
More fun on the black fin, but you're making up for it.
Well, I'll be a little bit more comfortable. We are headed out of Boca Ciega Bay here. Gonna run probably 20 miles to 75 foot of water. Those of you that have been following the channel a long time, you've probably seen this boat once. This is my 1969 20-foot Seacraft that my dad and I restored. We've had this boat a long time. It's a lot of fun on days like this. It's cold right now, obviously, but when the weather warms up, it gets to 70, 75 degrees offshore, calm seas, it's a nice boat to run out here and do this kind of stuff on. Trolling motor's real easy, spot lock. You just sit right on top of a ledge and catch hogfish all day. So this is my first time hog fishing this year. I've been so busy working and grinding on the 45 that just really haven't had a chance. The weather's been really crappy. Today's kind of the first break in the weather in a while. And then tomorrow, Saturday, we're actually supposed to get snow flurries in Tampa. At least that's the rumor. Y'all think that's gonna happen?
Ribbit.
That would be pretty crazy. But yeah, it's gonna blow like 40 tomorrow. So
Ribbit.
it's gonna be nasty. But let's get out here and get it done. Y'all know Eric from one of the few videos before. Mitch has been helping me on the boat.
We got a boat right in front of us. There's a boat right in front of
back
us.
There, he was on the fuel tank video.
You got a boat.
Did you
right?
get the
you got a
dinner
boat right
back yet?
You got a boat right in front of you.
Yeah, I see it.
Okay.
Next month.
It's still down there in Fort Myers getting worked on, huh? We need to do a video on that dinner boat.
I know. We'll get you out.
Behind the scenes. What are they doing out so early? Your thermos? Yeah, guys, so normally, this kind of fishing for me is lazy man fishing. So normally I would be getting a gentleman's start after 7:30 when the sun's up, but these clowns wanted to get up before the sun comes even up and experience the sunrise out in the Gulf. So I was like, okay, fine. And we're all freezing our butt off because of it. But hey, that it is good though, because you get out there and you get fishing quicker. We're gonna try to be back in the dock by 2-3 o'clock.
Took like 20 minutes to get freaking shrimp going. I'm like,
What do you mean?
Nobody out here.
Pass the grill. America.
I can't hear shit. Hey,
Drew. Well, I'm holding a 286 on the Simrad. I could put my number in and draw a red line to it. That would help. That would make too much sense. But I'm holding a 286. Obviously no autopilot on the single. Typical Gulf, within 5 to 10 miles of land in the morning. Seas are definitely 1 foot, but they're confused. They're mixed. You know, it's like a washing machine out here. So you gotta fight through that close to land and get further out. Hopefully once we get to that 10-15 mile mark, you get a little bit of depth. The seas kind of fall in line and the boat tracks a little straighter. The boat kind of falls in line to the seas. But right now we're just fighting through it, running about 20 miles an hour. Any faster, we just start beating up each other, beating up the boat. No point in doing that. This boat is doing 3.8 miles to the gallon at 3,600 RPM, running 20 miles an hour. We were getting 4.2 when it was calm. I'm getting off my 286. Ow.
What are these? 2 degrees?
No, these are like 1 foot. Yeah, I mean, guys, we're only in a 20-foot boat, so, you know, a 1.5 foot sea mixed around. There's some 2s in there, there's some 2.5s, and that's really what hurts is if you watch every about maybe 5, 6, 7th wave, like right here and then right there, and then it kind of smooths out a little bit more. Every 5, 6, 7th wave right there, is kind of that bigger set. And that's what you got to fight through. That's what slows you down. It really sucks, but especially when the seas are confused and you're in a 20-footer, you're getting tossed around. It doesn't feel great. But once again, this isn't bad at all. Check out that sunset. Or sunrise, rather. Mitch, you're a sunrise guy, aren't you?
Oh yeah.
Mitch likes to go watch the sunrises with his Latina in the morning. And as we speak, they are starting to get a little further apart. And as they get a little further apart, the boat has more time to land and we don't get our butt totally whooped. All right, one thing I'm doing here to make the ride just a little better, like this one right here, I'll turn sideways too and just kind of roll over it and then come back in. That's a good way to kind of eliminate what could potentially be a big hit if you got a big set coming. Other than that, I've got the trim tabs pretty much all the way down. Like right here, I'll turn, I'll roll over it, and then I'll come back in. That saves Mitch's back up there. Come back into it. These are all fine. Let's see if we get another one here. Turn away from it a little bit and then come back into it. But you got to keep your heading at the same time, so it's a balance. But yeah, I got my tab pretty much all the way down. And if anything, I've got the boat kind of leaned this way a little bit. I want that V to slice and do the work for me. I don't want the boat to be digging and pounding into the seas like that. I want it to be turned up and knifing them. So between that and then a little turn here and there to save our back and save the boat from hitting hard and pounding, you can make it a nice ride. But the seas are finally kind of spreading out just a little bit. We're doing about 21 mile an hour now. We were doing about 18 there for a while. But slow and steady. You can't be impatient. Don't beat the crap out of your boat. You're going to go back to the boat ramp and get a bunch of screws everywhere that have popped out. Not good for it. Yeah, and don't beat up your crew. That's not a good thing. Your crew, if you're running the boat irresponsible, or you're just not taking the waves right, or you're pushing it too hard, they're going to remember that. And they're going to be polite, most likely, and they're going to not say anything to you about your operating skills, and they're just going to take it. But I can pretty much guarantee that they're probably not going to come out with you again if you invite them, just because they didn't have a good time because you were beating the crap out of them by the way you were running your boat. So be patient. Take the seas for how they come. Don't beat the boat up. Don't beat you and the crew up, and everybody have a happy day. All right, guys. Well, we are anchored up on the trolling motor. My trolling motor is not making great sounds. Not sure why. Hopefully the lower unit is not totally screwed. But we're doing our grunt whacking to get the day started. Hopefully we hook a hog here soon. There's Drew.
I got a hog. A small one.
Drew, you're awfully close to that trolling motor.
Go easy.
Go easy. Smooth. Reel.
My reel broke. There's no reel in it.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
Bring it in by hand.
Oh, don't do that.
It's snap. Oh, that's reel's
Reel.
done.
Can you reel as
No.
Oh,
There's no
wow.
reel in it. Something broke.
It doesn't feel like a hog, but it looked like a hog when you bent it over.
That's what she said.
That's what I said about her.
It looked like a hog when you bent
Oh,
over.
it's something. It's brown. It is a hogfish. A keeper,
You want
too.
that?
Keep her hog.
Here. You need that?
Attaboy, Mitch. On roke reel.
Yeah, I think we're gonna move, guys.
Attaboy, Mitch. With the broke reel, hand lining hogfish.
Oh.
We're hand lining hogfish today, Drew. we have to swap to hand lining now. Oh, that's
You
good.
away with the handrail.
Don't hold him over the side of the boat. Hold him up for me. I knew they were here, fellas. I knew it. We just had to get through those grunts.
Let me see. Oh, nice. Pretty big.
So look, put your thumb in his mouth and hold his mouth open. And then let go of his tail. There you go. Attaboy, Mitch.
Look at those kissers.
All right. First fish box opening. Let's get all that crap in there. You guys like this spot yet? That's a dog.
Look at his penis.
Jesus.
Got a penis.
Nice. Another big male on the boat. There you go. Hey, what was that you were saying about how you don't like jig heads?
I don't like jig heads.
Oh, you didn't like my jig head. Okay.
Here, get him in there.
2 hogfish in the boat on one spot. One of them was on a 1-ounce jig head with 20-pound leader, and the other one was on a knocker rig.
Yep.
Did you catch it on a knocker rig? And then Mitch's reel decides to lock up and break as soon as he sets the hook. So we hand line the hogfish up to the boat. That's pretty funny.
Hey, anybody got those blue pliers somewhere?
And then Eric was talking crap about my jig head, and then he forgot about it down there, and boom, hooked the hogfish. That's the key to hogfishing, is put it down there, let it sit, don't move it. That is a 3-ounce, they call it a Huggy jig head from Tampa Bay Fishing Channel. Todd over there, I buy a lot of jig heads from him. They work pretty good. And mustad hooks, which are real strong. I wish I had a 1/2 ounce or a 3/4 ounce today. It'd work a little bit better. I think I'm out in my bag, but the 3/8 is getting down. It's just getting down slow. But if you can fish with a lighter jig head, and still get it to the bottom, it gives you more opportunity to catch different things. Then it's a slower fall, so you can hook a mangrove snapper on the way down, you can hook a yellowtail, we've hooked blackfin tunas, drifting jigs down to the bottom while we're bottom fishing in 80 feet of water before in December. So your chances of catching a lot of different things go way up when you slow drift jigs. Grunt? Nice. Easy. Look at that stud. Hold him up. Yeah. Porgy, nice. Box him. Oh, big porgy. That's one of those crossbreeds. Takes a little bit to bend that rod over.
Yeah, it does.
What you got?
That's the biggest thing I caught yet.
Fish.
Got a rock?
No.
Yeah.
Got the bottom?
I just had a hit too.
Grouper. Nice gag. Little baby gag. All right, well, we're definitely sitting on rocks, which makes me not want to leave, but at the same time, we've been drilling this spot pretty good. It might keep.
That's pretty close.
It's gonna be right there on the line. My trolling motor sounds horrible. Guess I'm gonna have to make a stop at Rodan in Sarasota. Sounds like metal on metal. Whee! Is he gonna keep? He's close. Gag. He thumped it though.
That's probably a hog.
The old let's move bite. It's got some weight to it. What you got there? Is it spinning?
It looks like a
Yeah, there we go.
There's a hog.
Spin them in the boat. Oh, not like that. Right through the bucket.
That's a keeper.
That's impressive.
That's a keeper. Nice. Little female turning into a male. Good job, Mitch.
Woo!
The old let's move bite. I was literally just talking, saying let's shift over. So my Rodan definitely took a crap, so that's great. That's gonna cost me some money. And now we're dragging the anchor. I'll kind of explain to you how we're dragging the anchor. We're pulling the anchor behind the boat from spot to spot. Just moved about a half mile and popped another hoggy. So 3 for the day.
Should I do it?
Shit,
Should I drop?
Yeah, sure, go ahead.
It's not.
If she's there, there's gotta be a big male down there.
Not the same fish, I promise.
Not the same fish, but
Same minute.
Did you have to throw the other one back, or was that a keeper?
That's a keeper.
Mitch just went 2 for 2, back to back. I don't think that's gonna keep.
No.
Definitely not.
That's a nice
Number
fish.
4, baby. Woo! Cheers to Eric again and the jig head that he was talking crap about.
Jig, baby, jig.
Hey, let that 1 ounce, 3/4 ounce jig head sit on the bottom. Forget about it. Next thing you know, you'll have a nice hogfish on. Y'all didn't see that. Before I can put the camera away, we got number 5, but let's see if he'll keep 14 inches.
Oh, yeah, every bit of 14.
Oh, put him back down there.
It's Will's ticket.
That's the Corona talking. He is. Yeah, I mean, he's right there at the line. Let me see his tail. Yeah, spin him the other way, see what he looks like. Hold his tail flat. Oh, he's so close.
Put him back. And step on him.
Can you pinch his tail? I mean, he's literally a 1/4 inch off, if anything.
Okay, he's a quarter.
The old let's move bite happened again. Think it's a hoggy?
Oh, yeah.
That chicken like it.
No, porgy? That's still an eater. Yeah, that's an eater. Nice. Got plenty of taco meat. Got 1 hogfish for everybody, plenty of taco meat. All right, guys, so this is called anchor dragging. So I don't necessarily go out and run offshore and try this right out of the gate. This definitely does take some skill, and you need to kind of learn how to do it and really think about it. And you have to also have a high level of skill behind the wheel as well before you try something like this. But what we're gonna do is we're gonna pull the anchor behind the boat from spot to spot. So my anchor, and Drew will kind of point that way, my anchor line's heading off to 3 o'clock here. So I'm gonna put it in gear real quick, and I'm gonna come around, and I'm gonna keep the anchor line right here to the starboard side of the boat. And I'm gonna come around, and I'm gonna keep it. I got my visual on, and I'm gonna keep it right here on the side of the boat. And you gotta make sure that when you do this, you head in the opposite direction of where the anchor was set. So if you were sitting this way, you gotta go directly 180 up current. So now my anchor line's coming up here up the side of the boat. You're gonna grab it, and you're gonna figure 8 it on the cleat. Now once I figure 8 it on the cleat, I've got a hold of it. Now it's gonna come out of the ground once I get going and get it tight a little bit. But you wanna go slow for the first few minutes of this, because if it does come tight and the anchor is stuck in the bottom, then it will either the line will come extremely tight. Sometimes it will pitch the boat or pull you back just a little bit. So you wanna go slow just in case you need to get off gear and throw it into neutral. But you can kind of tell when that line is getting tight. It'll start really stretching and the boat will slow down. Now, a lot of you are probably thinking, well, Will, that's how you capsize a boat. And the short answer to that is yes, it can happen if you don't have a lot of anchor line out. If you have a short amount of line that goes straight off the stern of the boat, straight down to the bottom, and you give it gas, then yeah, it can do this. But because I've got 200 feet of anchor line out the stern of the boat behind me, that angle is pulling, it's a more shallow angle on that anchor line, and it's not going to threaten to tip the boat over or capsize the boat. It's just gonna stop the boat. So by now, we've been motoring here about a minute, and that anchor is definitely off the bottom. It has definitely pulled out, it has popped up off the bottom, and now it's just down there frolicking like this behind us. So now I'm gonna get heading to my next spot, which is about 3 o'clock over here, more to the south, and we'll head that way.
Captain Will, I have a question.
What? No questions on this boat.
What happens if the cleat rips off the back?
Well, if your cleat rips off the back, that means you didn't go slow and you weren't paying attention to the line coming off the back. So it should never get to that point.
Thank you, Captain Will.
Is that fair enough?
Fair enough.
And hopefully your boat manufacturer installed the cleats real well. All right, so I'm pulling up to my spot here. I'm using Navionics. I also have this number on my chart plotter, but I'm just kind of working it right here for now. So once I'm gonna zoom in, I'm gonna come to my spot. And once I come to my spot, then I gotta immediately turn to where the last anchor heading was. So you gotta get on that heading as soon as you get to your spot. So I'm about to make the turn in just a second. Obviously our anchor heading is this way, off this way. I wish I had a compass on this boat. I don't have a compass. If I was on a bigger center console or any other boat, I'd definitely have a compass. So right here, I'm at my spot. I'm gonna go ahead and turn up current. The anchor line is just gonna lay on the motor. It's not in harm's way. And now I've got about 200 feet of anchor line out because I'm in about 70 feet of water. So I'm heading upwind right now. And because I've got 200 feet of anchor line out, I'm gonna go about 300 feet up heading, upwind. So that's about 300, and I've been running in a straight line, upwind. Now I'm gonna go ahead and make my turn. The anchor line's gonna come over here beside me. And now I'm gonna follow. I'm gonna backtrack that anchor line in the same direction. Just like so. That anchor line's right here. Now I'm heading right back to my spot where I was when I made that first turn. I'm about 150, nope, I'm 200 feet away. So right about now, I'm gonna go ahead and stop the boat. Now the reason I'm stopping the boat is because this is a light center console. It's hard to get it turned around out here. I'm gonna break that loose. I'm gonna turn to port and back up. Then I'm gonna go to neutral and pivot, turn to starboard forward. Problem is the boat's light, so it slides. This is actually a lot easier in a bigger center console like the 33 Blackfin I run. We do this all the time on that boat, and it, you know, with the twin motors, you can spin it around real quick and get it back into the heading. So right about now, that anchor's gonna be pretty close to the bottom, and once it digs, it's gonna bring that bow around, and we'll know we're starting to hook up. And hopefully I'm within 10 to 20 feet of my spot. So let's see what happens here. All right, so anchor line came tight. I am within 50 feet of that original number where I turned off. I'm a little up current and upwind of that number. That number's behind me. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna fish this spot because I've got good marks on the bottom. And then here in a little bit, I'll ask Drew to put 50 feet of line out. So always keep a little bit of reserve. And then we'll drift 50 feet and we'll fish that number and we'll fish the surrounding areas and we'll beat that area up pretty good. Now, look, if you're fishing in the Gulf on pretty much any size, not any size boat, but if you're fishing in the Gulf at all, doing red snapper fishing and over 100 feet, you definitely need 600 feet of anchor line. This is a 20 footer. I can't get out there to 150 feet of water in this boat without a fuel bladder. Most of what I do in this boat is inside 100 feet, which is about inside 40 miles. So I have 300 feet of anchor line on this boat, and that usually gets the job done. Obviously we have the trolling motor, but my trolling motor took a crap today. So, so yeah, if you're doing that deep water stuff in the Gulf, you need at least 600 feet of anchor line. Or if you're fishing shallower like we are today, 300 feet of anchor line will do it just fine. Eric's hooked up on a good one. On the jig again.
On the jig, getting jiggy with it.
Getting jiggy with it. Yeehaw. It's spinning.
Nice.
Red grouper. Too short, got to go back. By the way, years ago, a old friend of mine that's a commercial fisherman taught me that, and that's pretty much the only guys who know how to anchor drag is commercial fishermen or charter guys. You know, definitely something that you got to work on and practice. So I don't really recommend that you just go out there and start messing around with it. You need to kind of be taught by somebody who knows what they're doing, so you don't make a mistake. But if you're anchoring and you haven't upgraded your boat to a trolling motor, or even if it's not possible, I mean, that is a huge time factor when you're out here offshore, because you only got so many hours to fish, and if you have to pull up your anchor line between each spot each time, it really gets old. So, but hey, give it a shot. You may like it. Once again, I cannot stress, if you learned anything or took anything from that little tutorial, do not anchor your boat off of the stern with a short amount of anchor line. Like if you are in 10 feet of water and you have your boat anchored off the stern and you have 15 feet of anchor line out, you are asking for trouble, especially if you start using the engine or if you are in seas where the seas are coming over your transom and the stern of your boat. You are asking for trouble. That's how those guys got in trouble in Miami that capsized that boat. So don't do that. This is the way that I just did it with a lot of anchor line out the back of the boat is the only way to do it correctly. I think Eric's got Mr. Redman right now. See that thump, 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 thump?
Yeah, it's a red snapper.
That hard dig? No, you got yourself a certified hogfish, Mr. Eric.
Atlantic catfish.
It's a good one. I can tell you that. It's got some weight.
It's a nice Daiwa MQ. It's a hog. Is it a keeper though?
Oh yeah.
I don't know.
Oh yeah. That's a keeper.
I don't think that's going to be a keeper.
So we're gonna measure him up.
By the way, guys, you know, when you're doing these long runs, especially in a small boat like this, we definitely, or any boat at all times, we have our EPIRBs. We have an EPIRB. I have my Garmin inReach today. We do have 2 batteries on this boat, just in case one accidentally fails. We do have a VHF, so you got to take all those precautions when running out this far offshore in a little boat. Any boat, but especially a little boat. Yeah, I know the channel really hasn't been a whole lot of fishing this year. I'm hoping to change that. I said the same thing last year, but we get so busy and carried away with the deliveries and training and everything. It's winter right now, so it's a little bit slower on the business side of things, but obviously come about March, things ramp up pretty quick. But with the new 45 here, I'm hoping to do a lot more fishing videos and do stuff in the Keys and the Tortugas and Pulley Ridge and Venice. You know, we want to get that boat across the Gulf and do some of that kind of stuff. So hoping to have a lot more fishing videos. If you enjoy the fishing videos, please leave a comment, or if you're totally against it and you don't like it and you don't think the channel should go in that direction, let me know. I want feedback on both, but I like to mix it in there. It's part of who I am and what we do. This is what we do on a regular basis when we're not working our tails off, is come out here and fish. So
You don't like it. Fuck.
Subscribe right.
yeah, so Eric and I went to Bunce's Pass, and I took my dad's 36 to Bunce's Pass, and Eric was with me in his 356 Carver. He just bought the boat, and well, no, you had it 6 months, right?
Yeah,
something like that.
Something like that.
And I backed the Chris Craft up to the beach, and at that beach, it's a pretty strong drop off. So you're putting the anchor down like 15 feet, and then you're backing up to the beach with a big boat like that. So I get all set up, and then here comes Eric, halfway to the beach. He's letting, his boat is all chain, so he's letting all of his chain go out to get back to the beach so we can raft up for the weekend. Well, about halfway to my boat, all the chain goes out the roller. just all you hear is a bloop and chain goes flying out the bow roller. And turns out half of his chain was rusted.
Really bad.
Really bad,
there was
yeah.
a few links that were really bad.
And so those links broke. And then I'm out there in 65-degree water swimming, trying to dive down and find,
With my mega magnet.
trying to find his chain. So he had a magnet, so I went out there on a paddleboard and I used the magnet with a dock line, and I somehow snagged the chain laying on the bottom in 15 feet.
Yeah.
And then I gently pulled the chain up with the magnet up to the paddleboard and got a hold of it somehow, and then I tied a life jacket to it. And then the next day or 2 days later,
when we left, Martina grabbed it with a boat hook, threaded it through, and then we got it through the windlass, and we just pulled it back in and went home, and then I fixed it at home.
That's ridiculous. So we got all of his chain and anchor back. We would have had to go out there diving for it if we didn't.
Thank God it wasn't rough.
Yeah, it was a really nice weekend. Flat calm, one of those weekends. So if you have an all chain setup on your boat, make sure it's not rusted to absolute pieces.
Yeah, every once in a while, let all the chain out at the dock, bow in, let all the chain out, check it, and change it again.
Wash it off as it comes in the boat. Get him, Eddie. Mitch is on again. I can't buy a bite.
$20 you can reel this one in.
That's a freaking keeper, dude. That might be a keeper. Is that 15 inches? He's 14? Is it 15? I thought it was 15, Drew.
I got fish bowls on my phone.
I do too. I can't download it because it wasn't downloaded. Oh, I don't know if he's a hog. He might be a porgy. He fought good though. He's still thumping.
What you got?
Yeah, big porgy. These porgies, they go crazy. They have no like rhythm to them, so they just thump, thump, thump all over the place. And these are great taco meat. Really good fried up, very white meat. They're in the same family as a hogfish, as is a grunt. What was it, wrasse family? So they taste real good. Not like a hogfish, but still white meat.
What is that?
All right, so that scamp grouper, 16 inches. He's just a touch over 16. That's a great eating fish. Scamp grouper is one of the best eating fish in the ocean.
Yeah, tail.
They have like a blue highlight to them. Gorgeous fish, and you don't often get them 16 inches this close in. Usually you have to go pretty far offshore to get those in keepers. So that's a real treat right there. Woo! All right, y'all ready to make a move? Let's drag this thing a mile. Regroup. Make sure it don't get tight. Man, what a nice day. As expected, it did slick out a little bit. There's still a little bit of a roll out here, but not as bad as it was on the ride out. Hopefully it'll be a nice ride back in. But yeah, tomorrow it's supposed to blow 40 miles an hour. It's supposed to be coldest day of the year. 40 degrees in Tampa, 30-degree wind chills, some crap like that. Got about a mile to the next spot. It's a big hump. It's a big hump on both sides. I found this spot years ago, just kind of bouncing around watching my graph. So how we're pulling the anchor right now to the next spot, that's how you find all these spots. As you're going slow, you're paying attention to your graph. You're looking for hard bottom, hard red thick bottom with ledges and holes and all that stuff. You got to pay real close attention to that bottom machine. But you come out here enough and you do it, and you you drag the anchor from spot to spot, slow down, you'll find all these numbers and you'll catch more fish over time. You don't have to be what I call a spot hopper. You get all these guys out here that spot hop. They got a spot 5 miles that way and they got a spot 4 miles that way, and they're getting on plane and boogieing between spots. They're missing so much bottom in between. So I just rolled past a piece of grass about that big, and it had probably the biggest triple tail I've ever seen on it. And we're slowly making our way back over to it. We've got a free line shrimp that we're going to get upwind from, and no, it's down below, it's fine. And we're gonna drift that shrimp back to that weed, and hopefully we get a hookup here. I mean, he's a dog.
I'm not gonna step on that cooler.
I mean, he didn't spook when I went by, so he either ran and is. Oh, he did. Hey, you see him, Drew? He's right. He's right to the right of the weed.
Holy shit, he's huge. 4 feet from the weed.
He did. He spooked. I didn't know he spooked. Need a better cast. Need a better cast. Right there. It floated right under it. He's sitting right under it. So when I rolled by, I went by him and I didn't spook him. So I'm wondering if our anchor line, because we're dragging it, spooked him. Because when we circled back around, I think he spooked, and then we sent him back to the weeds, and then he got spooked again. We made a few casts, but it's not looking good right now. He's a smart fish. That's why he's that big. He is smart. Man, that sucks. I mean, he was a giant.
Hey, doing, big guy.
I don't know if he knows we're here.
He's about to find out.
I'm just drifting, guys. I just got the motor off.
He's having issues. He can't dive.
Or he's being lethargic, one of the two. They get that way this time of year.
Sick.
Sweet.
That was cool.
That was cool on the video there.
Talk about your turtle.
Yeah, nice. No, I did not run over the turtle. I had the motor off and we just drifted up to him. All right. Well, there's number 5.
1 man limit.
It's 1 o'clock. Did pretty good work for 4 hours. It is picking up a little bit from the east, which is a little strange. But it's supposed to blow like crap tomorrow. Oh my gosh, I would have never guessed that, but that's a horse of a porgy.
I think we should end it on that.
Whoa! First fish of the day, last
I
fish
thought
of the
that
day.
was a hog for sure.
Hand around it.
You fished pretty good.
I love it.
You just keep on going.
You wrecked us on the redfish last time too.
I don't.
He's very fishy. Smells like it, fishes like it.
Well, 5 hogfish, a lot of grunts, and a lot of porgies later. We are heading to the house. Looks like we are going to have a quartering sea off our starboard bow. So hopefully it won't be too bad of a run here. A little like half a foot to 1 foot, laid down a little bit. So we're gonna head to the house. We'll see you back on the trailer. back home, 30 miles later.
Nice and calm.
Yep, nice and.
I moved that one. I got it that time.
Catch a ton of hogfish. Yeah. It's a little rougher than I thought.
Yeah, it blew up a little bit.
Like right.
Well, we got all the fish filleted and split up between us, wrapping up today. Really appreciate you guys coming along for this fishing trip on my old classic center console here. Had an unbelievable ride in. It was flat calm. It slicked out really nice. I was running the boat 30, 35 miles an hour, somewhere in there. Overall, great day. 5 hogfish going home. Appreciate y'all coming along for the ride. Hey, if you like the fishing content, it's a good change of pace. Let me know if you like it in a comment below. Please like and subscribe if you want to see more of this. We'll see you on the next run. We out. We out.